Hi, everybody. Happy Feel Good Friday to you. How you doing? How is everybody? Whoa, lots of people are already here. There are like people checking out in the Etsy shop already. Oh my gosh. Hi to all of you. Hello to all of my YouTube family. Facebook will be getting here in just a second. I hope you guys are having a good day so far. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. Hi Ruby, hi Colleen, hi Evelyn, Jan and Mary, Regina. Oh, Facebook is now in the house. Hi y'all, what's up? Alicia, hey Alicia. Listen girl, I read your comment. I was like scrolling back looking at some of the old comments. Send me a message with some of the pictures of the projects that you want to see. Because I read, I don't want to like put that out there. I don't want to say all those words, but I saw what you were asking for, what you were hoping for. If there are some in particular that you want to see and you can like grab a screenshot of them, or if you've got a picture of them or whatever, send it to me in a private message, because those are all my designs and I would be more than happy to do that for you. So just so you know. Okay. Hi, everybody. I hope everybody is staying warm. Some of you are somewhere cold. Hold on, we'll scroll back here. Excuse me, I've got a tickle on my throat this morning. Oh, it won't let me go back any further. Darn. All right, well, some of you are somewhere cold. I hope you're staying warm. It's kind of in between here. We live in such a weird place because some days it's like really warm and then other days it's cold. There were snow flurries like 40 minutes from here. I just don't understand. I do know that we're missing rain big time. Like we need rain. So if you guys are somewhere where there is rain, please send some our way, because we're kind of in a drought right now. And I don't know, just what it ends up making is for a very short fall, because all the leaves blow away, everything dies. It's dead, it's gone. We don't get all those beautiful colors. I mean, we have a little bit of color, but they don't last very long when there's not any rain. Different contacts today? No, same old. How do you even know I wear contacts, Brooke? Ohio is cold. Deborah says it's been in the 70s this week. It's been kind of like that here too. It's been up and down, but it gets really cold at night here. Hi, Danielle. Hiya. You need rain in Kansas? I don't know why we haven't gotten much rain. Like when it does rain, it only rains for just a minute and then it's gone. It's like, darn. Yeah. All right, everybody. So welcome in. Looks like we've got a good crowd. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Hi, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. I know I already said that, but I'm going to say it again just in case. Colleen says, I didn't know you wore contacts, right? How does Brooke know? I don't know. No idea. So Nicole's doing the rain dance for me. Thank you. I need that. And I would also love to see pictures of that. I'm going to need some proof of that, Nicole. So it's Feel Good Friday, which is my favorite day of the week. And let me tell you why. If you are unfamiliar with Feel Good Friday, let me tell you what it's all about. So Feel Good Friday is exactly that. I want you to feel good. I want you to go into the weekend feeling inspired and feeling good, but not bogged down with technique or things that you've learned, right? We do that on Tuesdays. You watch so many lives throughout the week where you are learning things that on Fridays, I just want it to be kind of easy breezy and casual. I want to inspire you. I want to show you great pieces of jewelry that are easy, instant gratification pieces that you can grab from my Etsy shop, which is a great way to support me so that I can continue to do all of these beady things for you. So everything that you see in a Feel Good Friday show is available for purchase over in my Etsy shop. My team is always here in the live in the comments section, dropping links so you can go directly to those pieces of jewelry where you can grab those. And Wanda says in the Etsy shop, there's nothing. All right, hold on. Should be there. Everything should be there. Unless everybody just bought everything all of a sudden. I don't think that's the case, but let me just make sure everything's there, Wanda. Etsy shop's already hopping. So let's see. What was I saying? I have no idea. Totally lost my train of thought. So like I said, everything that you see in today's show is available for purchase in my Etsy shop. I have a lot of necklace projects today. We've got, let's see, we have 4 necklaces, 1 bracelet, and a maker mix. If you're interested in the maker mixes, those are beady mixes, just little beady mixes. They're not huge, of beady goodness, things that I didn't have enough of to create an entire kit out of, but still wanted to share those with you. In today's maker mix is no different than the rest as far as that is concerned. So if you purchase a maker mix, you can create a piece of jewelry, post it, and then you will be automatically entered into a drawing to win a shipment of goodies from me. We don't judge your design, anything like that. It's just inspiration for everybody, right? So that's how the maker mixes go. And also the kits, the kits are up for you to kind of design around and create and make personalized. That's the word I was dancing around. You can personalize and turn into whatever you want to. But I will show you in the live how to put it together the original way, right? Let's see, anything else I need to tell you guys? So it's a busy day for me today. I've got this live going on right now. And then 5:00 p.m. I have my Hardwired group, which is a great segue to another thing I've got to tell you. But we've got a live with a Hardwired group at 5 p.m. Eastern time. That is our weekly wrap up. And then directly after that at 6 p.m. is a class over on Sam's Speed Shop. So you can have a triple dose of me today, or a double dose. I don't know why anybody would want any of those things. Aren't you guys tired of me at this point? But yeah, so I've got a busy Friday today. So if you can't hang around here, you can probably catch me somewhere else later today. Okay. But speaking of the Hardwired group, it is open for enrollment. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with what the Hardwired group is, that is my Facebook group. That is a personal Facebook group that is a paid for group. It's exclusive. You have to pay to play, pretty much. It's a small group where you pay monthly or quarterly to be a part of it. And we do projects that are a bit harder than what we do here on our regular lives. So they are intermediate. They're not quite, we don't have any advanced projects. So I try to stay in the upper, the lower intermediate to upper beginner, if you will, project realm as far as wire wrapping is concerned. We do a lot of wire wrapping projects. We do some other things, but it's a great place to come. It's a small community. We really love each other. We've definitely become a family there. And like I said, the projects are a little bit harder and they're definitely technique intensive. So if you're interested in being a part of the Hardwired group, we're open for enrollment at the end of every month, the beginning of the following month. So it usually kind of falls in that in-between phase. So open enrollment now probably will stay open until next week. What you need to do is you need to go and apply to be a member of the group. When you do that, you're going to get a list of questions from Facebook. Make sure that you answer all of those questions, because otherwise we don't know where to invoice you. And we will invoice you. Kathy takes care of all of that. And once your invoice is paid up, then you get into the group right away and you can get started. If for some reason when you apply to be a part of the group and you do not get the questions, you need to reapply, because sometimes Facebook has its issues. If y'all watched Sam's last live sale, you guys know Facebook kind of, it's been a little, what's the word, fickle, if you will. And I think that's putting it lightly. So if you want to come and be a part of the paid group, please do. Are you doing a live with Sam today? Yeah, I am. I just mentioned that. Lots of things going on today. So got a live here going on. Then the Hardwired weekly recap is at 5 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., these are Eastern time zones, by the way. At 6 p.m., I will be over at Sam's Speed Shop doing a class with him. So challenging. You're right. Facebook is being challenging. All right, everybody. So we are going to get started. Okay. I'm going to start out with the maker mix, and then I'm going to make our way through all of the beady goodness in today's show. Like I said, I've got 4 necklaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 necklaces and 1 bracelet project for you, but we're going to start out with our maker mix. All right. So I'm going to turn you around and we're going to get started. All right, my friends. So our maker mix is called Magically Delicious, and because this was definitely inspired buy Lucky Charms because of all of the things that are in this. So this is an amazing check glass mix. There is nothing but check glass in this mix, 100%. And all of this check glass came from either Sam or Danielle. So please be sure that you give Danielle and Sam both some love, because if it were not for them, I would not be able to do the things that I do. It is definitely a group collaborated effort. They supply me with all of the beady goodness in the world, and then I put it together for you guys. So there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to the Sara Lovecraft Designs community and our kits. And Sam and Danielle are an integral part of that. So this is all check glass. And it is this check glass that has this yummy, like, has that luster to it. Oh, so pretty. So there are some check glass rondelles in here. There are some check glass bicones. There are some check glass drops. These really cool, interesting pieces here. There are the textured pieces. There are these flowers in here. And the flowers are super cool because they can be so many different things. The way that they are drilled on the back, they can be a button. They can be a component. You can use them as a clasp. Like, there's so many cool things you can do. So lots of beautiful check glass in today's maker mix. I hope you guys love it because I think it's gorgeous. Love, love, love. All right, moving this one over. We're going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start out, let's see, which project should we start with today? It's so hard to know because things sell out really quickly. So we're going to start out with our super easy peasy stringing project. So we're going to put together this necklace that I've decided to call Spring Memories just because it is so green and so beautiful, but definitely would be wearable all year. So in this kit, you're going to get some 19 strand blue bead stringing wire from Beadalon. It's really beautiful. And you only see a little bit of it, so it really doesn't matter that it's blue, but I don't know. I just thought that it went really well because all of our tube beads have that beautiful kind of green blue flash to them. There's a bunch of daisy spacers. In all of the kits, you're going to get all of the pieces that you need, right? So this is basically a straightforward stringing project. We're going to start out by crimping the end of our bead stringing wire. So we're going to take a crimp tube. We're going to thread it onto the end of our wire. Then we're going to thread on a wire guardian. So I'm going to take my bead stringing wire up through the wire guardian, down through the wire guardian, and then into our crimp. You want to be sure that the wires are not crisscrossing inside your crimp tube. Okay, so you want to separate those out as much as you possibly can. Then you're going to use your crimper tool. You're going to use the back notch of the crimper tool. It's the one that has that tooth coming down. You're going to place your crimp in there and you're going to give it a squeeze. And that tooth is going to come down and further separate out your bead stringing wire inside your crimp tube. You're going to turn that sideways, put it in the front notch and give it a squeeze. That's just going to make it a little bit more compact. Okay. Now you can either string the end of this through a bead if you want to, or you can go ahead and trim off the excess. I'm going to trim off mine. Okay. All right. And then we are going to just string. So I'm going to thread on 13 of these tube beads. Look how pretty these are. They're not coming across well. You can see that blue flash? Looks like you get it better from a distance. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So these 13 beads are going to work as the length of your necklace. So for you in particular, if you would like to make your necklace shorter, you can take off one of these, right? If you need to make your necklace longer, then you can add a couple of extra jump rings to this. But 13 of these, and then we're going to start our pattern. And the pattern is going to be these gorgeous check glass fire polish rounds. We're going to do a daisy spacer. Then we're going to do a check glass rondelle that is a blue-green rondelle. I got these from Sam, actually. And we're going to do, I believe I did. We're going to do a daisy spacer and then another of the check glass round. Okay, so you're going to put that on, and then you're going to separate that out with another one of the tube beads. Okay, and that's what your pattern is going to be. So we're going to do the check glass round, daisy spacer. This necklace turns out really beautifully, by the way. For it to be such a simple design, the results are amazing. This one looks really good layered with other pieces. So if you've got other blues and greens, it looks really pretty with it, but it also looks amazing just by itself. It really is just a beautiful, simple design that stands alone. You can dress it up, you can dress it down, because there's just enough of that flash, right? With those really cool tube beads to make it sparkly without it being like over the top sparkly. So this is definitely kind of understated sparkle for those of you who don't like to be super flashy. I am definitely a super flashy, but not everybody is, and I get that. So when I make my kits, I try to make sure that I make something for everybody. Those of you who like super flashy, super sparkly, those of you who are a little bit in between, and then those of you who like more kind of matte earth tones, down to earth, you know, natural looking things. And I've got a little bit of all of that in today's show. So if this necklace is not speaking to you, I've definitely got something in today's show that you're going to love, I'm sure. The only thing that's missing from today's show is earrings. And that's not, it's not usually how things go. I usually have a ton of earrings kits, but if you're looking for earrings, I do have a ton of earrings kits in the shop, just projects that we've done previously. This is a great time of year to be buying up and getting ready for the holidays. I know, not trying to rush it on you because Halloween's not even here yet, but let's be honest. As soon as Halloween is over on Monday, it's on. So if you are looking for some gifts, either to make or to give to a maker, there's something in my Etsy shop that will definitely appeal to anybody. The maker mixes make great stocking stuffers for makers. The projects, you can either make them and give them, or you can give them and let the maker in your life make them, right? Lots of gifty goodness in my Etsy shop. Also, want to mention that you can also gift access to the Hardwired group. So if there's somebody in your life who would like to be part of the Hardwired group, you absolutely can pay for their membership to the Hardwired group if you would like to do that as well. That, however, is where it becomes super important that you fill out all of the questions when you go to apply to the group so that we know who to be looking for. Oh, I did that backwards. I got to talking and put that daisy spacer on first. So you're going to put these together. I think you've got 9 of these little sections that have the daisy spacers and the check glass beads. And having an odd number like that just means that one of these will fall in the center. Just little tidbit of information there. If you like this kind of design and are curious how to put it together, if you're going to do little sections like this, doing an odd number will definitely ensure that one will absolutely fall in the center in the front, if that's what you're looking for. Sometimes people don't want there to be like a clear center. All right. So we're going to do one more section of our check glass. And then we're going to finish this off with the rest of the 2 beads, and we're going to crimp. And really, that's it. And that's why this is like a perfect example of our Feel Good Friday show, where we're not being bogged down with technique, right? This is just simple stringing, which is good for the soul, as far as I'm concerned. And yet it's still beautiful jewelry, right? And it's just like I always say, beautiful jewelry does not have to be a representation of every skill you've ever learned. Right? Sometimes just simple stringing or just a couple of wire wrapped loops or simple loops is all it takes to put together some really beautiful pieces. All right, so we're just going to string on the rest of the 2 beads. Yes. Oh, I love that idea. So hold on, let me scroll back. You could always get multiples of the same kit and have a making get together with your friends. I love that idea. I think that is a wonderful idea. And what a cool way to, like, let's say for the holidays a lot of the times are all about family, right? And that's fine. And you could do it with your family if you wanted to. But like if you needed an excuse just to get together with your friends, you know, during the holidays, that's not really a party where you don't feel all that stress and pressure from the holidays, but maybe you have like a group of girlfriends and you really want to see them for the holidays. That's a great way to do it, right? Or let's say you've got some family coming in, or you've got, you know, teenagers coming in for the holidays and you don't really know what to do with them. They're going to be there for a few days. This is a great thing to do together. You know, grab a couple of these kits up. Everybody have a glass of wine, unless it's teenagers. And then have some hot cocoa, I guess. I don't know. For me, it would probably be like coffee. Coffee with some fancy creamer, right? And have like a little maker party. That would be so fun. I love that idea. All right, so I've thread on my crimp tube and my wire guardian for this end, and I'm going to crimp. I'm going to turn it sideways and put it in the front notch and crimp, and then I'm going to trim off. And guys, the only thing left to do with this is just to put the hardware on. This necklace is so beautiful. Look at that. It's just so pretty. And there's not anything crazy to this. It's just about those gorgeous beads and that combination of the flash, the mix of the blue and green in those check glass rondelles. It really is all about just the beautiful beads. It doesn't have anything to do with the technique. It doesn't have anything to do with any major skill that we've learned or practiced. And it's still a beautiful piece that you would be proud to show off, or somebody else would be proud to wear, right? And say, hey, Wanda made this for me. You know what I mean? Just a beautiful, beautiful piece of jewelry. So that is our first design for today's show. It's just pretty. And you can see there's the clear middle here, right? That one little section right in the middle. Love this. This is such a pretty, pretty necklace. All right, so I'm going to send this one. Oh my gosh, Jane is here. Jane, I love you and I miss you. Where have you been, my love? Oh my gosh. Everybody give Jane some love. I know Jane in real life. All right, so I'm going to take this necklace. I'm going to sit this over here to the side. Let's see. Here's a question from Jill. Jill says, how do you determine when to use a jump ring and when to add the clasp directly onto the wire guardians? That's a really good question. And honestly, it comes down to personal preference. And sometimes it has to do with your clasp too. I'm going to go ahead and start our next project, and let's talk a little bit about that. So sometimes it's a matter of length, right? If you need extra length in your piece, adding a jump ring is a great way to get a little extra length. And then sometimes it has to do, like I said, with the clasp. There are certain clasps that I think just look better if the wire guardian goes directly onto those or it's connected directly. Anything that's really kind of decorative, a lot of times a decorative clasp looks better if there is not a jump ring, and it's a really good way to protect your piece, because that jump ring, though they are nice and strong, there's always a chance that that jump ring could come open. So if you don't want to lose your beautiful decorative, you know, clasp, if something happens, it's a really good way. But sometimes it's really just up to personal preference. And nothing more than that. All right, so we're going to put together another really pretty design here that is pretty simple. So we've got chain for the length for this. We have these gorgeous brown terra beads. I love these. I got these from Sam. They have tons of texture. They're not smooth. They're bumpy because they're like the real deal, right? They're super, super cool. They have like this mix of browns, blacks, and chocolatey colors. There's some pops of gray in these. Every single one of these is going to be a little bit different. And so we're going to put together a cool design with this. Hold on just a second. I'm going to pull up the picture. I'm going to show you. So this is where we're going, right? I'm going to show you exactly how to get there. All right. So in the center of our necklace here, and that's where we're going to get started. We're going to put our brown terra bead here. We're going to do bead caps on either side of that. We're going to do these gorgeous faceted gray glass crystal beads here. We're going to put bead caps on either side. Whoops, bead caps on either side of those. Okay. Then we're going to do a bicone in like this kind of smoky topaz color. Okay. Then we're going to do a jump ring with a little piece of chain. Okay. That's going to be our drop. So all of your chain's been pre-cut for you. Your short sections of chain have been pre-cut. You can always adjust them if you want to, but that's going to go on. Okay, make sure you put your jump ring on the end of those because we're going to thread the jump ring on. And then we're going to finish that off with some of these small gray rondelles. Okay, these two pieces are going to come together in the middle. They're going to meet at a jump ring. We're going to have a cone. A smoky topaz bicone, and then this guy is going to go on. Okay. And then to finish that off on each side, we've got one of these really cool little connectors with the leaves and some more of those bicones. So that's going to go on either side. We're going to bead all of this up. So one side is already done. We're going to bead up our other side. And then we're just going to attach that to some chain. Now I know that doesn't look like much yet, but it will. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's start with our little section here. So we're going to take our smoky topaz bicones here, and we're going to put each one of these onto an eye pin, and we're going to do simple loops. Okay. So I'm going to grab the wire. I'm going to bend it over the top of the bead. So not over the top of the tool because I don't need room for any wire wrap since we're just doing a simple loop here. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off, leaving yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Then you're going to come in with your round nose pliers and you're going to grab the tip of that wire and you're going to roll back to close up your loop. Okay. So you're going to do that with those. You're going to do that with these as well. Okay, again, just bending that over the top of the beads, trimming off, leaving yourself about 1/4 inch of wire. Coming in with our round nose pliers to roll back. Okay, so we've got loops on both ends of our little bead sections here. I'm going to open up one of those and I'm going to thread that on to the loop on our little leaf connector. And I'm going to close that back. And then the other side of this, I'm going to open and I'm going to thread on our other little section of bicones. Okay. So this guy is ready to go. Okay. So you're just going to repeat that process so that you've got 2 of those. Okay. Now this section here in the middle, we're going to use a piece of wire. So I'm going to take my wire. I'm going to come down on the wire about 1 inch, 1.5 inches, something like that. And I'm going to bend the wire and we're going to do a wrapped loop. Okay. So round nose pliers, We're going up and over, rotate the pliers, take the wire over to close up your loop. Take that off of the tool though, because we're gonna attach this directly to our loop. So no jump ring here. Take the tail end of that wire and you just want to snap those two together. Okay. And then hold your loop and then wire wrap. Okay, so wire wrap about 3 times. Basically, you've created yourself an eye pin out of your wire with a wrapped loop. Come in with your cutter tool, trim off. All right, now I'm going to thread on my beads. So one of the small rondelles, my piece of chain at the jump ring, a bicone, a bead cap, a larger rondelle, a bead cap, and then our beautiful Terra bead. Look how pretty that looks all together. Okay, then I'm going to do another bead cap, rondelle, another bead cap. I love this color combo of this like smoky topaz brown and gray. I think it's just really, really beautiful. Okay, we're going to thread on our chain piece at the jump ring and then a rondelle. Okay, now we're going to wire wrap this to our component here. Okay, so I'm going to start my wrapped loop, bend the wire, coming in with my round nose pliers to go up and over, rotate, take the wire over to the other side. Now before you do your wire wraps, thread that onto the component, right, and just snap those two together. Then we're going to come in with our pliers and we're going to wire wrap. Now just be careful, because you've got a lot of things in your way here. Just kind of wrapping around all of that. Okay, and then you're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off the excess wire. Okay. All right, so all of this part is ready to go. We've got our 2 pieces of chain though that are hanging down, and our section here with our beads that's on the wire is a little straight. So I am going to kind of curve it, which I can do because it has wire inside it. So it will curve to make kind of a shallow U shape. Okay, now the last thing to do is just to put together our drop and then add our chain. So for our drop, I'm going to take a head pin and I'm going to thread on rondelle, gorgeous cone here. Got these cones from Danielle, and then a bicone. Okay, and I'm going to do just a simple loop here. You can do a wrapped loop, but you don't have a whole lot of wire here. So I'm going to grab the wire, I'm bending it right where it is exiting the bead. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off. All right, leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch of wire, and then use your round nose pliers to roll back. All right, so your drop is ready to go. Now, the last thing here for the center is we're just going to open up this jump ring. So this jump ring is going to attach to the bottom piece of chain on one side. We're going to thread on our drop at the loop, and then our other piece of chain at the end, and we're going to close that back. And you've got this beautiful focal for the front of your necklace. Now the last thing to do is just add your chain. And this, again, another one of those pieces that it's going to look beautiful all by itself, or you can layer this up with some of your other pieces. No jump ring here. I'm just opening up our loop. I'm going to thread on our link of chain here. Now your chain and your kits, the long pieces of chain, you need to cut those yourself, right, to decide what length you need, but you've got plenty of chain, and then you're just going to add your hardware to the ends. I don't ever cut these pieces of chain because these do go into someone's kit, so I just use this single piece, but you do have to cut your chain in half. Okay, and that's it. It's really beautiful, but simple, right? It's simple. There's not a whole lot going on here. We've done some simple loops, 2 wrapped loops. The rest of this was just sort of stringing, right? And the results are absolutely beautiful. So there you go. That was our second necklace for our show today. I'm going to set this one to the side, and we're not stopping. We've got more to go. All right, I've got another necklace that's pretty interesting. I love this design. I think this is definitely an interesting look. I'm going to show you the picture, and then I will show you how to get to this. So this is a really cool Y necklace design that we're going to put together here. Oh, thank you, Cecilia. Thank you so, so much. So this one's got a combination of some crystals. There are these kind of fiber optic blue. I know that's hard to see on camera, but you see that blue flash. It's so pretty. So then we have these blue terra beads. So we had brown terra in the last kit. We've got this blue terra in this kit, and I love this. The blue terra, the blue in this is like true navy, but when it's all modeled together like that, it looks like denim. But it really does have like that true navy undertone to it. So if you're looking for pieces to mix and match with this, navy is where you want to go for sure. All right, so let me lay this one out for you. So we're going to do a beaded section or a beaded chain, right? One's already done. I'm going to lay out the beads for the next part. So that'll be that side. So we're going to do simple loops here, right? This comes together at a jump ring. And from that jump ring, our large blue terra bead, our oval, a really cool connector, that's going to go down here on the bottom. And then we're going to finish that with our other terra bead here. Okay. And that's going to be dressed up just a little bit with some bead caps and a metal bead. That's just going to put a little pop of metal down here on the bottom. Now you can add chain to this and call it done. This looks awesome just like it is. But if you want that extra layer to go in there, we're going to do another little Y layer in here. So we're going to do 2 little beaded sections of crystals that also come down to make a Y. So it's like a double Y necklace, right? And then the length for this is just some chain. Okay. All right. So this is where we're going. I'm going to show you how to get there. Okay. Pat says that blue terra is the boss. I agree. It's so pretty. So, so pretty. All right. So let's start with our little beaded chain here. Now, 2 of my beads are already ready just to save some time. So all of these are going to go onto eye pins, and we're just doing simple loops. So starting with our largest bead here, I'm going to bend the wire where it is exiting the bead. Okay. I'm going to come in with my cutter tool. Again, just simple loops. So we're trimming off, leaving ourselves about 1/4 of an inch of wire. Round nose pliers coming in to roll back to create a closed loop. Okay. So now the next bead, same thing, but this time I'm going to open my eye pin up and attach it first before I add my bead, just to save a little bit of time, right? So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. I'm going to thread on my next bead. Bye, Jane. Big hugs and love. Okay. Come in with my cutter tool, trimming off. Okay. So there's that one. We're going to come in with our next eye pin. Going to attach this one. Okay. Stepping down in size now. Okay. Roll back to close that loop. And then I'm going to open this loop, right, with just a twist. And I'm going to thread on these 2 that I had already done ahead of time just to save some time. Close that back. So now we've got our beaded chain on one side. Okay. So it's 5 beads for that side and then 5 beads for the other side. Okay. Oh, thank you, Cecilia. So our blue bead here, we're going to put it onto an eye pin as well. We're just going to slide that right on down to an eye pin. Okay, I'm going to do just a simple loop on it as well. So I'm just bending the wire. I'm in and trimming off. Round nose pliers to make our loop. Now, that loop that I just made, I'm actually going to open that up with a twist, and I'm going to thread on our connector. And then I'm going to close that back with a twist just to close. Okay. All right. Now down here on the bottom, our bottom Terra bead is going to go onto a head pin. And I'm going to do a bead cap on the bottom, our Terra bead, the bead cap, and then a little metal bead. So don't lose your metal bead in your kit. You've got one metal bead. Thank you, Ariel. Oh, thank you so, so much. All right, now I'm going to do a simple loop here as well. So I'm just bending the wire. You can do a wrapped loop here if you want to. Totally up to you. Okay, trim that off. Round nose pliers to make our loop. And then after you make that loop, go ahead and open it back up, twisting it, right? And then attach it to your connector and twist it to put it back. Okay, so your focal, which I think is super cool. This is our focal for this necklace. Okay, now up here at the top for our second layer, it's just the same thing, just like our beaded chain here, where it's just simple loops. So all of these are going to go onto eye pins. You're just going to do simple loops. You're going to do 3 and 3, and then the drop here, 2 of them are going to go onto eye pins. Okay, so just simple loops again. Okay, there's a loop for that one. We're going to go ahead and attach the next one. Okay. For me to attach them as I work just makes it a little bit simpler. Okay, so I'm going to do the next one. And then our last bead, since it's the drop, it's the bottom of our Y shape for this section, it's going to go onto a head pin. Okay, so I'm going to take my crystal, drop that down, bending the wire, and with my cutter here, trimming that off, roll back. Oh, this one was not, that wasn't the greatest loop, but it's okay. So take my my chain nose pliers, open that, and I'm going to attach it to the bottom of these 2 that are already linked together. And that's going to be the drop for this section. Okay, so now the rest of this is just kind of assembly. All right, so we're going to start here in the middle with a jump ring. Twist to open. We're going to thread our focal. We're going to thread side of our chain on this side, and then our chain on this side, and we're going to close that back. Okay, so this section is ready to go. The next section we're going to do the exact same way. So open up the jump ring, the drop goes in the middle, the chain section on either side. Okay, and that's ready to go. Now everything is going to link together with other jump rings. So also want to show you our chain here as well. So the chain has some very small links, so you want to be sure that you use your small jump rings on these. Okay, so on either end of your chains, it's your small jump rings. And that's just because that tiny chain link won't fit onto this jump ring. So I had to use the jump rings for that. Okay, so we're going to thread on our bottom our next step up, and then our chain with a jump ring. Close that back. And then we're just going to repeat that over on the other side. And you can see how this all comes together. Hey, Tim. Okay, so our bottom strand, the next strand up, and then that little jump ring on the end of our chain. And close that back, and that's it. And you've got this really cool like double Y necklace. Whoops, there we go. Just a really interesting, fun design. It's got just a little bit of sparkle, but it's got that blue terra in it. So if you wanted to leave out this section here in the middle, you absolutely could. Maybe use those beads for some earrings if you wanted to. You don't have to add them, but they are in your kit. Just another really, really cool necklace design. Nicole says the blue terra Y necklace is sold out. Hey, that's not a bad problem to have. Thank you, everybody, for your purchases. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to sit this one over to the side. We've got one more necklace and an easy bracelet to put together. And I'm saving the bracelet for the end because I know you guys are going to love it. So saving the best for last. All right, so I've got another really cool necklace design for you guys. This one features a really beautiful piece of obsidian from Dakota Stones. So this came from Danielle. She said last night that she was actually looking for some more of these. So I don't know. She might send me some more if she found some. If she didn't, this might be the only opportunity you're going to get this big old hunk of beautiful obsidian. But it's so pretty. All right, so that's going to be our focal. Now the metal for this necklace is a little bit different. We're using this really cool hematite gunmetal color. It goes really, really well with the obsidian and our black sparkly goodness here. We've got these gorgeous butterflies. I got these from Sam. So they're black on one side. They've got that awesome AB on the other side. And then we've got these dark blue with the AB finish, some black rondelles. All of this is going to come together. So that's one side of our chain, right? Or our little beaded chain. That's going to come down to a ring. That's going to come down to our obsidian. And we're going to make a beaded, like a bead cluster to hang from the bottom of this. So we're going to do a butterfly, the obsidian, and then we're going to do a beady cluster of just beady goodness down here at the bottom. That's all I know how to say. Here, let me show you the picture. Let me show you. Let's show you the picture of this awesome necklace. Hold on. So here's where we're going. Okay. See how we've got that cluster at the bottom? And then our little beaded sections are going to go up, and then that's going to meet with some chain. So it's, again, a simple design, but really beautiful. Can be long, can be short, really kind of up to you how you want to wear this one. But I'm going to show you how to put this together. So we're going to start down here at the bottom with our cluster. Okay, so this part, let's see here. First, let me separate out the beads that I need for our beaded section up here. Just don't want to accidentally use any of those. All right, so for our cluster at the bottom, you're going to do 9 of these rondelles. Okay, and a lot of these I've already done just to kind of save some time. So there's 6. There's 7. I've got 2 in my hands here. We're going to wire wrap these. They're going to go onto head pins, and we're going to do wrapped loops. Now, you absolutely can do simple loops on these if you want to. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to do wrapped loops on all of mine. So I'm grabbing the wire where it's exiting the bead, bend the wire over the top of the pliers. That's what makes this different than a simple loop, because we need that extra room for our wire wraps. We're going to come in with our round nose pliers. We're going up and over the top barrel of the pliers. Then we need to rotate those pliers so that I can go ahead and take the wire over to actually close up a loop. Okay. Now, between that loop that we just made in the top of the bead, we're going to do our wire wraps. Okay. So I've got room for about 3. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so, so much. Okay. So there's our wrapped loop. On that one, we're going to do another one. Okay, bending the wire. Okay, up and over. Rotate, take the wire over to the other side. That's going to close that loop up. And then I switch hands. Not everybody does that part, but I do. I switch hands and then wire wrap. Okay, so there's our other wrapped loop. Stephanie says when she does her wrap loop, she talks to herself like I explain it. I love that. I love that. All right, so there's all of our beads for our cluster. So that's 9, okay? And we are going to put these together like this. So 1 will go on the bottom, and then 2, then another 2, then another 2, and another 2. And we're going to link all these together with some jump rings, okay? So let me show you how we're going to put all that together. So what have I done with my trying to find the jump rings that I used for this. All right, so to put this together, okay, we're going to take a jump ring. You're going to open it up. This is, and we're starting at the bottom. Okay, so take a jump ring, open it up. You're going to thread on 1 of your wire wrapped crystals, and then you're going to close that jump ring back. Okay, make sure you get a good closure on that. We're going to open up another jump ring. Okay, and we're going to thread that one onto the jump ring we just added. You can see it sitting in the opposite direction. Then we want to thread on a bead on each side. So a bead on this side, and then a bead on the other side. And then we're going to close that back. You want to make sure that those beads are on opposite sides of the previous jump ring. Okay, we're going to sit this down very carefully so that we don't lose that jump ring. Okay, we're going to open up another jump ring, and we're going to repeat that. So hook that. 1 bead on one side, 1 bead on the other side, and then close. Sit that down. Don't lose that top jump ring. Okay. Open. Hook another jump ring. And then the same thing. 1 on one side, 1 on the other. Don't put them on the same side because it'll make this hang crooked. It will be very lopsided. Okay. Lay it down very carefully. And then another jump ring. Bead on one side, bead on the other side. And then if you want to go ahead and add your eye pin to this before you close it, just like that. That's going to make sure that you don't lose that top jump ring if you sit this down. But look at that beautiful cluster of just sparkly goodness. Love, 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 love. All right, so now I'm going to thread my piece of obsidian down on top of that. Okay, and then we are going to do a simple loop. Okay, and I'm actually going to do my loop to the side for this one. So my loop on the bottom is going away from me. This one, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just personal preference for me. So I'm going to trim off. Round nose pliers coming in. Okay, simple loop here. Okay, so there's your loop at the top. Okay, I'm going to do another eye pin. I'm going to attach it to that loop. Close that back, and we're going to put one of these beautiful check glass butterflies on the top of this. Okay, look how pretty. And bend that wire. We're going to do another simple loop. And this simple loop is going to go onto our decorative ring here. Okay, so there's our loop. Okay, now I'm going to very carefully open that loop up, slide it onto our decorative ring. You may have to open it kind of wide. and then close that back. And then make sure you get a good closure on it. Okay. And that's the focal. How pretty is that? That's the focal to this gorgeous necklace. So that's going right there in the center. Okay. Now, your beaded chain section is a little bit different. So you're going to actually get some length out of some jump rings here. So we're going to do 3 jump rings. Then we're going to do a beaded section that is 3 beads, right? A big one in the middle and 2 smaller ones. A jump ring, a single black, a jump ring, another of the 3 more jump rings, and then a butterfly. And that butterfly is going to attach to some chain. So that's where we're going. Okay. So we're going to start out, and we're just going to go ahead, jumping right in. We're going to do our little 3 jump ring chain here. So just taking 2 jump rings, 3 jump rings rather, and attaching those just like that. Okay. Got one of these that's already made. So I'm going to open that up, attach that to our little chain of jump rings. Okay. We're going to attach another jump ring. Colleen says, I know I'm not supposed to have favorites, but, and before I close this one, I'm actually going to go ahead and thread on an eye pin. Close that back. Now comes our single black. I love this because this means you can wear butterflies all year. If your butterflies are in this gorgeous black and blue, they don't have to just be spring butterflies, right? These are like sparkly and pretty enough to make it like you can have butterflies all through the fall, all through the winter. Nobody said your butterflies had to be limited to just the spring and summer. All right, so our simple loop on that one. Okay, we're going to do another jump ring. This one's open. Let's use this open one. Take advantage of that. Thread that on. I'm going to go ahead and thread on another eye pin because the next thing up is another one of our little beaded sections. Close that back. Okay. So our little beaded section is a small bead, a larger bead, and then another small bead, and we're going to do a simple loop. I would rock that focal as an earring. You're so right. I love it. Wanda knows me. I love me some big earrings. Okay. Now, round nose pliers. Roll back. Okay. Now I'm going to do another set of jump rings because see down here, remember we did 3 jump rings. So on this end, we're going to do 3 jump rings as well. Okay. So I'm going to open a jump ring, thread that on to the end, thread on. Whoa. I'm going to add another jump ring to the end of that to make 3. And then before I close it, I'm going to do an eye pin because our butterfly is going to go at the top. Close that back. And we're bringing in our butterfly. Okay, and then we're just going to do a simple loop with our butterfly. So bending the wire, trimming off, roll back. All right, so now we're just going to attach everything. Okay, so this strand down here, we're starting with our jump ring chain. I'm going to open that up, attach that to our focal. Close that back. And then we're going to do the same thing with the one we just made. Close that back. And then the last thing to do is just to add your chain to this so that you've got some length. Now, every kit that I use a lot of chain, you guys, and it's because it is one of the easiest things to make adjustable. right? Because you can trim off lengths of this. And I never know how long you guys want your necklaces to be. Some people want them longer, some people want them shorter. So I use a lot of chain for the back piece, right? You don't have to, though. You can always take the pieces of chain that I send you and use them for something else, right? And you can just bead the rest of your necklace if you want to. Grab some beads from your own stash and bead the rest of the design up. You don't have to use the chain that I include. I just find that it's the easiest way to make sure that everybody gets the length of a necklace that they want, right? Plus, the back of the necklace, you don't really see a whole lot. So I always figure chain's a good way to go. It's lightweight. But you could always improvise and use ribbon. Ribbon with this one would be gorgeous. Some beautiful organza ribbon with this for the length would be absolutely stunning. A piece of leather, anything you wanted to use for the length of any of the designs that you grab from my shop. But there you go. So, so pretty. Can't wait to show you this one hanging because it really is beautiful. So it's a little dressy, but I mean, you dress it out, dress it down. I would wear this with my blue jeans all day long, but get that gorgeous piece of obsidian with those butterflies and the sparkle. You can't go wrong with that. So, so pretty. All right. So that was all of the necklaces in today's show. I've got one more project for you guys. This bracelet, if this doesn't sell out, I'm going to be really surprised. So we're putting together a beautiful, just simple green Aventurine string bracelet or strung up bracelet. So that's what it looks like. Okay. All of these gorgeous green. Oh, Nicole says it's sold out already. I didn't even put it together yet and it's gone. All right. All right. Well, let's put it together for everybody who bought it. All right. So we're going to start out with our bead stringing wire. Included in your kit is a piece of 49 strand bronze colored bead stringing wire. We're going to thread on a crimp. And we're going to thread on a wire guardian. And this is a wonderful example of where, like we talked about earlier, the wire guardian is going to go directly onto the clasp and there's not a jump ring in between them. So my wire is going to come down back through the wire guardian. But before I go through my crimp, I'm going to go ahead and thread my clasp onto this. So there's no jump ring there. It's just a direct connection between the two, right? Take my bead stringing wire down through my crimp. Okay. Make sure your wires are not crossing inside your crimp, and then you're going to come in with your crimper tool. Give it a squeeze. You're going to put it in the front notch and give it a squeeze. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to come in with my cutter tool, trim off the excess. And we're going to bead up a really pretty bracelet here. All right. So we're going to start out with a metal bead. So I'm going to thread on a metal bead. Okay. 3 of these Aventurine rondelles, which is actually my very favorite shape of gemstones. I don't know what it is, but I love a nice smooth gemstone rondelle. Okay. We're going to drop those down. We're going to do another metal bead. Another group of 3 of the rondelles. Okay, a metal bead. Okay, now we're going with one of the smaller Aventurine rounds, one of the next size up. Drop those down. All right, we're doing a metal bead. And then we're going to do our 3 big beads in the center, and they each have bead caps. So a bead cap, large bead, bead cap, metal bead. And then we're just going to repeat that 2 more times with our large ones. So bead cap, large bead, cap, metal bead. And we've got one more of the large. So bead cap, large bead, bead cap, and a metal bead. And we are going to drop those down. And that's our center of our bracelet. And then we're just going to repeat this pattern. Okay. So the large, well, medium-sized round, if you will, and the small one, metal bead, and then we have our sets of our 3 rondelles. So 1, 2, 3, and then a metal bead, and 1, 2, and 3, and a metal bead. Now you should have 1 rondelle left over. Okay, 1 green Aventurine rondelle left. Just hold on to it because it's going to go with our little bird charm here. All right, so now we're ready to crimp. So I'm going to thread on my crimp and my wire guardian. Back down through our crimp. We're going to pull everything down. Okay, we're going to put that crimp into the back notch of our crimper tool and give it a squeeze. Put it into the front and give it a squeeze. Okay, then you're going to come in with your cutter tool and trim off the excess. All right, so now the rest of this is just a little decorative bit here. Okay, so we're going to add our decorative ring. So we're going to open up a jump ring, attach it to our decorative ring, and we're going to attach that to our wire guardian. Close that back. We're going to do another jump ring. And this jump ring is what your clasp will attach to. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and hook it to the clasp, just save a little bit of time. Okay, so there it is, finished without any of the extra dangly goodness. But you know how I am. I've got to have that extra dangly goodness because I'm extra. You don't have to. You can leave all that out if you want. But I'm going to add some charms to this. Okay, so we've got a flower charm that we're going to attach with the jump ring. And then we've got our little bird and our Aventurine piece. So I'm going to put my Aventurine piece down, and then I'm going to sit my little bird on top of it. So these are going onto a head pin, and I'm going to do a wrapped loop. It just looks like a little nest. And I'm going to do a wrapped loop. You can do a simple loop if you want to, but I'm going to do a wrapped loop. All right, so round nose pliers up and over, the wire over to the other side. And then as I'm wire wrapping, I'm actually going to kind of scoot the bird out of the way as I wrap. See how I'm kind of just twisting him out of the way so I can get in there to do those wraps. And then I'm going to come in with my cutter tool and trim off that excess wire. Okay, now he's ready to attach. All right, so jump ring with our bird onto our decorative ring. And then a jump ring with our flower. Yeah, this really is a beautiful, beautiful. This will make a wonderful gift for somebody for the holidays, for sure. All right. And there you go. You've got yourself a beautiful Aventurine bracelet. Lower you down a little bit so you can see. Look how pretty. And again, just simple stringing, right? We didn't do anything crazy with this design. It was just beautiful, simple stringing. We let the beads be the piece, right? And you can't go wrong with just some beautiful gemstone beads. And they don't even have to be like, you know, the most expensive, outrageous, insane priced gemstones either. Everybody appreciates a gorgeous gemstone bead. And, you know, and my Aventurine beads here, these are not like, you know, the top of the line, but they're still gorgeous. That green is a nice like jade green that you can use with your blues. You can also use this as a neutral. It looks great with everything else as far as like your grays and your browns and your tans, but it does kind of have that blue undertone. So you definitely can pair this with other blue pieces and other green pieces if you want to. If you pair it with green, it kind of brings out the green and like dulls down the blue for sure, but just really beautiful. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around because that is it for the day. I'm going to show you our necklaces on some busts, and then I'll let y'all go. Okay. All right, so just doing a quick little run through. This was our bracelet, just so you can see it from a different point of view. Beautiful green with our little charms. So pretty. And that antique brass, which I love. Okay, our butterfly necklace here. I'm going to put this on the bust so you can get a really good look at this one. So there is our butterfly necklace with that beautiful obsidian and all that blue sparkle. So, so pretty. All right. All right. Next up was our double Y necklace. Right. The two Y and then that really cool drop. It's just a really interesting design, right? It's definitely unique, definitely one of a kind for sure. Okay. Next up was our blue terra necklace. Also another really cool design that, oops, hold on to my chain here. It's a really beautiful drop to it. So pretty. So, so pretty. And then last but not least was our spring memories. Get you through the cold weather months. Just this beautiful, simple blue green necklace. Just really, really beautiful. Right? So pretty. So, so pretty. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today and letting me be a part of your Friday. I appreciate it always, always. It is always Favorite Fridays are always a good day. Always a good day. So I hope you enjoyed today's kits. I hope that I've inspired you. Thank you, everybody who has made purchases in my Etsy shop. It definitely goes a long way for making sure that I can continue to give you guys all of these fun projects. Your support means absolutely everything to me. If you are interested in being a member of the Hardwired group, please don't forget the enrollment for that is open right now. Okay, so definitely go and apply to be part of the Hardwired group. Hardwired group will be meeting at 5 p.m. Eastern today for our weekly wrap up. And then right after that at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be on Sam's Bead Shop Facebook page for a wonderful class. We're putting together a necklace, bracelet, and earrings out of a amazing carnelian kit. You don't want to miss. You do not want to miss. The jewelry is absolutely beautiful. That jewelry plus today's jewelry, if you are looking for things and to buy or make for the holidays for gifts or to give the kits as gifts, we're definitely covering all your bases for you. We got a little something for everybody. So yeah, that is all for me. So some of you will see me again at 5. The rest of you, I hope that you will come and see me at 6 over on Sam's Bead Shop. And if I don't see you, have an amazing weekend. And I will see you guys again back here next week on Tuesday at 1 p.m. with another fun project for you guys. All right. I love you guys. Bye.